Hey, this is John Paulus. You're listening to Life's Potluck Buffet. Thanks for joining me today. Today's episode, I drew a card because I know the power of Life's Potluck Buffet, and it was card 38. And so today I'm going to talk to you about worksheet 38, all about love and hate. Stick around. So worksheet 38, like card 38, is all about the relationship between love and hate. And it all comes down to that hatred for something is really love for something in disguise when it comes to work that we're doing. Worksheet 38 offers us an exercise that we can do to transform what we think is hatred for something we do for work into understanding what it is that we love about that. And that's a really powerful thing. If I think of all of the treatments of love and hate, I feel like one of the best ones is that really short scene in Spike Lee's movie Do the Right Thing with Radio Raheem. I'm going to put that link in the description to the YouTube video of that very short scene just to see it. Really excellent scene in so many ways. But Worksheet 38 is trying to do the same thing that Spike Lee considers in that scene and talk about the relationship between love and hate. But the difference is this is your version of the relationship between love and hate. And that's the special thing about Worksheet 38 and Life's Potluck Buffet. So for those of you listening, let me explain that the Worksheet 38 PDF is up on my screen here. And the top left corner has the blue dumplings, but they're turned upside down. So they kind of look like frowns. That I think is representing hate. And then in the bottom right corner, one of the blue dumplings has turned into a blue heart. So there's the movement from hate to love that Worksheet 38 talks about. So let me read you the instructions. Write under hate something you hate to do for work, then write what you love about the same thing. All right, I'll read that again. Write under hate something you hate to do for work, then write what you love about the same thing. Now, notice that this is slightly different from card 38, which has you identify this feeling by thinking about a job that you hate, right? Something that you criticize or say you despise or, things like that. You'll remember from that episode. This worksheet, however, really focuses on an aspect of your work in a kind of detailed sense so that we could see this relationship between what you hate and what you love, etc. Okay, so let's do this. A pen color. And once again, I'm not going to use red here because, that seems too cliche because at least I associate the color red with hearts and love, and also red with anger and hate. So it would make a lot of sense, but I'm feeling like it's too cliched. So I'm going to go a different direction and do something very different. Let's do, I don't think the gray is going to show up. Let's do purple. Okay, so we're going to do purple. All right, so write something you hate to do for work. Oh, I know, that's easy. Ask. Okay. It's really hard to do K's in print here because I always pull the letter, the bar that goes vertically as I try to do the ones that connect to it. All right, ask people, I'm going to say for stuff. I should have just used the number 4 because that would have saved me some time. but I'm not going to. I'm writing the word for. So I'm going to say ask people for stuff. Okay, yeah, that's something I really hate having to do. But it's really important. So this is good. This is something that's really important in life that it's hard for me to do because I'm like, oh, this, All right. Ask people for stuff. That's what I hate. What do I love? I like meeting with people. Yeah, I like, So I say meeting with people. Say talking with people. I love that. That is something that I love about what happens when you have to ask people for stuff. You're going to have to, sorry, talking here with an arrow. So here it is. I have hate, ask people for stuff. What do I love about the same thing? Meeting with people and talking with people. So you see how these are two sides of the same coin. It's like, it's like that scene in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, right? One hand, the left hand has the hate knuckle, hate knuckle rings, and then the right hand has the love knuckle rings, right? So I think that here the thing that I would explore in a discussion context of this is why I hate why it's hard for me to ask people for stuff. Is it, I would ask myself the questions, is it because I'm putting myself out there and I don't want to get, shut down? Or is it that I think that people don't like that or won't like me because I'm asking them for things? That's not really plausible either. Do I think that it's just feels like I want to do I want to do everything on my own, right? Do I want to, is it this one of these things where it's like I must do everything, which is really a thing that I've worked on over the years, right? Where like I feel like I have to do everything, and we talked about that in several episodes about letting go and remember letting people do their work, and how that allows for both people to have that accomplishment and also allows for people to show their generosity in doing things, so or giving money or anything, right? So I think here the connection for me is relationship, interestingly, because this is about a love-hate relationship with something that I do for work. And I think that the relationship here is what's most important to me, right? And the thing that I hate about the thing I have to do for work, the asking people for stuff, my fear here is that it endangers those relationships, right? It changes those relationships. But I love talking with people and meeting with people, and I love people. So I think the thing here to think about for me is to think about how I can use this thing that needs to be done, asking people for stuff, or to do stuff, or for money, or any of these things, or to buy things, to provide things, to do work, to all of those things. What you ask people for, whether they're people who you work with, work for, whether they're people who are customers, whether they're people who work for you. You're always having to ask people to do things in order to have a relationship with people in an employment sense, and in a work sense, and in a collaboration sense. So with me focusing this more on a thing that's about collaboration rather than about asking people for things, but saying that asking for people things is basically asking them to enter into a collaborative relationship, which is a wonderful thing. And if I focus on that, then I think that's the key for me, is to focus on whenever I have to ask someone for something, to treat it as entering into a collaborative relationship in which the person I'm talking to and I have a better and more productive and just more respectful and human relationship because of the way that I'm approaching it. And so if I look at these as opportunities to actually build relationships rather than just to get something that needs to be gotten or done, then I think I am in the right mindset. And now I really love that. So think about what you hate and how you love the same thing and what aspects of it you hate and why you hate it, and then why you love it and what aspects you actually love about something you hate to do for work. So I hope you have a great day. And if you enjoyed this episode, give it a like, love it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you very much. And go to lifespotluck.com/worksheets and download worksheet 38 about the relationship between love and hate. See you on the next episode.